Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking your writing from confusing to crystal clear by mastering the absolute fundamental building blocks of communication. Have you ever read something and just felt completely lost, even though the words themselves technically made sense? Or maybe you've written an email or an essay and realized halfway through that your reader just isn't following your train of thought. Well, we're going to fix that today. We are going to learn exactly how to build the perfect paragraph from the ground up.
Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to construct this perfect paragraph layer by layer. First up is unity, which means sticking to the point. Second is coherence, holding your ideas together. Third, we'll talk about transition signals, which are essentially crucial traffic signs for your reader. And finally, organizing ideas into a logical structure. Let's get started.
Section 1. Unity. Sticking to the point.
I want you to think of paragraph writing exactly like erecting a physical building. Before you can paint the walls or arrange the furniture or worry about the aesthetics at all, you need a rock-solid, singular base. In writing, we call this foundational building block unity. Unity means that a good paragraph has exactly one main idea. That's it, just one. And every single supporting sentence in that paragraph absolutely must directly explain, support, or prove that central topic. Basically, unity means zero irrelevant material. Now, I know it's incredibly tempting to throw in extra information, fun facts, or vague generalities that kind of wander off topic, but if a sentence doesn't directly support your main idea, it is structurally unsound. It's got to go.
Let's put this into practice right away to test this out. Imagine our main topic is that playing tennis keeps a mother fit. I'm going to read you 4 sentences, and I want you to put on your editor's hat for a second. Which one of these sentences totally breaks our golden rule of paragraph unity?
Here are our 4 options. Running around the courts keeps her muscles toned. We still have the cup she won for finishing first in college. Serving gives her a sense of balance. And finally, at 52, she continues to play tennis well. So, what do you think? The crucial point is, it's the second sentence. Yep, the one about winning a cup for a 1-mile race back in college entirely breaks the unity. Why? Well, because it has absolutely nothing to do with tennis keeping her fit right now. It's just extra noise that cracks our unified foundation.
Now, listen to how beautifully unity can be executed when it's done right. There's a model paragraph that describes a character named Hamid as a big, bouncy, guileless man with a passion for food and a passion for ideas. And it's an absolute masterpiece of unity, because every concrete detail that follows directly supports that initial description. He talks about eating, he examines ideas out loud, there are no sudden tangents. It's a perfect, unified foundation.
Section 2. Coherence. Holding it together. So we have a solid, unified base. But, a pile of bricks still needs mortar. Coherence is what keeps our structural foundation from crumbling apart when someone actually tries to read it. The word coherence literally translates to hold together. It guarantees the smooth and logical movement from one sentence to the very next, entirely eliminating any sudden, jerky jumps in thought. If unity ensures you're on the right road, coherence ensures your reader has a remarkably smooth ride, completely free from jarring leaps or mental potholes.
Let me illustrate the massive difference coherence makes. Listen to this first version describing the problems of moving from high school to college. The ideas are unified, but listen to the flow. Their college is usually much bigger. The new first-year student often does not know any of the students. These students are not always friendly. It feels super clunky and robotic, right? Now listen to the exact same information but with a tiny bit of coherence added in. The main problem is that their college is much bigger. As well, these students are not always friendly. You hear that? Same info, but the flow is literally night and day.
Section 3. Transition signals. Traffic signs.
How exactly did that second version achieve such smooth coherence? Well, they used specific structural tools, transition signals, which act as your reader's traffic signs. I want you to lean into this idea of writing as directing traffic. Transition signals tell the reader exactly which way your ideas are turning. If you're taking a similar route, you use signs like similarly, moreover, or furthermore. Taking an opposite route, signal it clearly with on the other hand or however. Giving examples, hold up a for instance sign. Guiding them to the end, use as a result. These words prevent major mental pile-ups by showing the exact relationship between your sentences before the reader even finishes the thought.
Okay, let's test your traffic directing skills real quick. Listen to this sentence. The causes of inflation were easy to find. Blank, the cure for inflation was not easy to prescribe. You need to pick the right transition signal to fill in that blank. We have something that is easy to find, contrasted with something that is not easy to prescribe.
That requires a traffic sign indicating an opposite route. So what fits best here? If you guessed however, you hit the nail on the head. The causes of inflation were easy to find, however, the cure for inflation was not easy to prescribe. Just dropping that one simple word in immediately prevents confusion. It tells the reader before they even finish the sentence that a sharp contrast is coming up, keeping the flow completely logical and smooth.
Section 4. Organizing Ideas.
All right, so we have our unified foundation and our mortar of coherence. Now we've reached the final architectural phase, arranging our perfectly crafted sentences into a logical macro structure. The first major way to organize a paragraph is chronologically. Take the history of computers, for instance. 1950, the first generation with vacuum tubes comes out. 1960, the second generation is developed. 1965, the third generation appears. When you're organizing chronologically, events absolutely must be discussed strictly in the order they occurred in time. You wouldn't talk about 1965, abruptly jump back to 1950, and then skip up to 1960. That would cause a massive temporal traffic jam for your reader.
Let's see how this builds when we aren't just talking about history. Process paragraphs, like, say, a recipe for carrot pudding, also rely completely on chronological order and time-based transition signals. First, scrape and grate the carrots. Next, beat one egg. You couldn't turn off the gas before you've even boiled the milk, right? Words like first, next, and when guide the reader smoothly through the temporal steps to the final, delicious product.
But what if your topic isn't based on time at all? Well, that brings us to our second main organizational strategy, order of importance. This means organizing ideas by discussing the absolute most important point first and working your way down to the least important, or actually doing the exact reverse and building up slowly to your biggest point. This is a game changer when you're writing about abstract influences, complex arguments, or descriptive narratives where time just isn't the primary guiding factor.
To see what truly top-tier writing looks like when unity, coherence, and logical order are all perfectly applied together, listen to this model sentence from a narrative piece. For more than 75 years, my father functioned like a well-oiled machine. But then one day, nobody knows why, the machine came to a halt. Every single detail supports that central metaphor. The transitions guide us effortlessly. It's incredibly powerful because the flawless structure doesn't get in the way of the story being told. It enhances it. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a critical question to think about. Are your paragraphs guiding readers smoothly, or are you causing a traffic jam in their minds? The very next time you sit down to write an email, a cover letter, or a report, remember your building blocks. Establish your singular unified foundation, apply the mortar of coherence, put up your traffic signs, and organize your ideas logically. If you do that, your writing won't just be read, it will be truly understood. Thanks so much for joining me today to explore the perfect paragraph.